College is supposed to be some of the best years of your life, right? New friends parties, late night junk food runs. But what if in the middle of all that fun, you suddenly find out that the place you're calling home might be hiding something terrifying? Tonight, I've got 3 stories for you. 3 true haunted dorm stories that might just keep you awake tonight. So, turn off the lights, put your headphones on, and let's get into it. Story 1. The Girl in Room 309. Our first story is about a guy named Ryan. Ryan was a freshman at a college in Boston. You know the kind of college with old brick buildings, creaky floors, and hallways that somehow always feel cold? Well, Ryan was living in one of those dorms. Now, the building was over 100 years old, and there was one rumor everyone knew about. Room 309. People said that years ago, a girl named Emily jumped out the window of that room. Since then, people claimed they'd see her standing in the window or hear her crying at night. Ryan? He thought it was all just college ghost stories. One stormy night, around 2 a.m., the power goes out. Ryan grabs his flashlight, thinking he'll get some water from the kitchen. But as he's heading down the hallway, he looks up and freezes. Because there, on the 3rd floor balcony, was a woman standing completely still. She had long, messy hair covering her face, and she was staring right at him. Ryan thought maybe it was a prank, a senior trying to mess with the freshman. So he shines his flashlight up there, and in that instant, she vanishes. Tell me honestly, if you saw someone standing there, and then they vanished, would you go check it out? Or just lock yourself in your room and pretend it never happened? Ryan, being Ryan, couldn't let it go. The next night, he went up to the 3rd floor. He found room 309 and noticed the door was slightly open. He pushed it open, and the smell hit him instantly. It smelled like something rotting. Then, from the darkness, he hears this soft giggling. He turns around and sees her, a woman in a white dress, floating toward him, her feet twisted completely backward, and from beneath her tangled hair, blood is dripping from glowing red eyes. She whispers, "You saw me. Now you can't ever leave." Ryan tries to run, but the door slams shut. Furniture starts shaking. Windows slam open and shut. He's screaming, trying to get out. The next morning, they found Ryan passed out on the floor of room 309. Since that night, he's never spoken another word. He just stares at the ceiling, like he's still watching whatever he saw in that room. So, do you think Ryan saw a ghost? Or did something else follow him out of that room? Either way, Ryan isn't the only one who discovered some dorm rooms should stay locked forever. Story 2, The Scratching Roommate. Okay, so this next one might creep you out even more. It comes from a girl named Alyssa, who went to college in Illinois. Alyssa shared a dorm room with her best friend Rachel. It was small, a little cluttered, but it was theirs. Now, Rachel sometimes complained that she felt like someone was watching her while she slept. Alyssa just laughed it off, until Rachel got pneumonia and went home for a few weeks. Alyssa was left alone in the room. The first night, around 2 a.m., Alyssa wakes up to a soft, scratching sound. At first, she thinks it's the heating pipes. Old buildings do that, right? But the next night, the scratching got louder, like nails dragging across wood. Alyssa whispers, "Rachel?" But of course, Rachel's not there. By the 3rd night, Alyssa's so freaked out, she calls campus security. 2 officers check the room. They find absolutely nothing. Alyssa tries to convince herself it's just the old building. But that night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., she wakes up again. This time, there's heavy breathing coming from Rachel's bed. Alyssa sits up and sees a figure hunched over on Rachel's mattress, rocking back and forth, scratching the wall with long, thin fingers. Tell me, what would you do? Would you get up and run? Or pretend you're asleep and hope it goes away? Alyssa whispers, Rachel? The thing stops moving and slowly turns its head. Its face has no eyes, just empty, dark sockets, and a grin stretched impossibly wide. It whispers, she doesn't live here anymore. Alyssa screams, and the thing vanishes. She packed up her stuff and stayed with friends until Rachel came back. When Rachel finally returned, Alyssa refused to sleep there ever again. And sometimes, even now, she swears she hears scratching coming from inside the walls. But if you think that's bad, just wait until you hear what happened to Marcus. Story 3: The Elevator Game. Our last story comes from a guy named Marcus. Marcus and his friends were obsessed with urban legends, and one night they dared him to try something called the elevator game. Basically, you ride the dorm elevator in a certain pattern, press the floors in a specific order, and supposedly you'll end up in another world. Marcus thought it was all BS, but one night, around 1:30 a.m., he decided to try it. He pressed the sequence, and on the last stop, the doors slid open into pitch black darkness. Instead of the dorm hallway, there was just nothing. No walls, no light, just black. And then he felt breathing on his neck. Marcus spun around, and there she was. A woman in a hospital gown, barefoot, hair hanging over her face. She whispered, "Don't look at me." Marcus tried not to, but curiosity won. He glanced up and saw her face. Her mouth opened impossibly wide, her eyes leaking black liquid. Her teeth were like needles. She lunged at him, screaming. Suddenly, the elevator doors slid open. Marcus stumbled out, back into the dorm hallway. His friends were standing there laughing, but Marcus never told them that when he looked back, the elevator was still open, and the woman was standing inside, beckoning him with one long, twisted finger. He's taken the stairs ever since. So, next time you're in a dorm, and you hear scratching in the walls, or see someone staring at you from a dark window, remember, not all college ghost stories are just stories, because whoever hears these tales might find themselves marked. And if tonight you hear footsteps or a voice whispering in your ear, "You saw me, now you can't ever leave," don't look behind you. If you're brave enough, like, share, and subscribe, because the next story are going to be even darker than these.